take you up there. And then I might be able to bring that down. Here. Tutu. Buckle my shoe. I'm okay. How are you? Stop it. Oh. Tutu. Yeah, sorry about that. I have two different mic inputs for my bass. And I always forget to take one of them off. One of them's for my condenser microphone, which is this one, more detailed. And the other one is for my mic, which I can just shout into and it's fine. But both of them require different processing in OBS. So I have to have them on two separate thingamybobs. But then if I forget to take one of them off, you get both of them at the same time. Which I guess is a nice effect. What we're going to be... My OBS does that funny thing no one tells. Wankers. Thingamybobs. Stop! Hello, Richie. Everybody. I have had a long day. Another... Oh, is it? Hang on. One sec. My noise gate. If I put the... Oh, yeah, because... Bring this down. There we go. That should be a bit better now. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Ooh. Thank you. Oh, thanks for the coffee. Yeah. I'm just going to turn this back up again because I forgot I do need to pump in a bit of my signal in order for my noise gate to do its thing. Cool. Richie's on a watch streak. You've watched 3 streams in a row. I think it's a bit more than that. Somehow. Hello, Mimo Tan Tan. Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. I'm going to just put my thingamabob back up again. If it cuts out again... You're going to Asakusa! Oh, wonderful. I loved staying in Asakusa. I miss it so much. If it cuts out again, just let me know because I'll make some more changes. Yeah, I stayed in Asakusa. It's time to have a little listen. So yeah, today, again, my day started proper early. I love you too. And then I went to uni in Leeds. And there, we've learned about genre hybridization today, which was such a cool topic. And yeah, we even talked about Ian Van Dahl, Castles in the Sky, the Eurodance, amazing thingamabob song. But yeah, like I've been asked it recently, like, what do people do? What, like, something? Come on, brain. I've answered a question recently where people were asking if it is worth going to uni to learn music production. Hello, Trance Vinyl Sessions. And honestly, especially in the masters, I think with the electronic music production degree, it was more about the technical stuff and learning how to use a compressor, how to use mid-side EQ, some of the basic chronological order of genres and how that was created. Journalism in music I did in my 3rd year. Loads of like but it was quite structured. So what I found with this masters is it's bending me and making me think about music in a way that I've never thought about it before. Like it's opened me up like in a really crazy way. In a really, really crazy way, because you don't realize it. None of us realize it. We are so boxed in an okay way. It's not good or bad, but it's fine. But we're so. I will give an example. So, like music production, DJing, the scene that I'm in, the genre that I play mostly, or even a few genres, they're all dance music, right? So they're all quite similar in terms of the techniques that are used, what is expected of that genre. One of my notes from today. So, like, we were talking about genres in general. Like, what is a genre? What does it even mean? What does it even mean? What does it do? Like, what is a genre? And what we spoke about was like it's a framework, or I'd call it like a signpost. So it's an agreement, a contract between all of us to say this is this genre, and this is the reasons behind why it is this genre, and we all agree upon that. And we live in an age now where these genres are changing so rapidly, so quickly, because of the fact that you can just get onto the internet and search up. This is what my professor was saying, and it's so true. Search up any artist, any genre, any like hardly known SoundCloud producer, bedroom producer, and find all of these hybridizations of different types of music. Pigeonholing is a genre. Trance Vinyl Sessions has made it so he can't play anything but trance. I love that. I love that for you. That's so funny. Oh. So yeah, like I say, it's opened me up in a number of ways. I found out last week or the week before, I think it was last week, I was talking to you about musique concrète, and which is where sampling came from, which, when you first listen to this stuff, I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is just noises. Random. Did you? Like, I had never heard of it before, Trance Vinyl Sessions. So that was a rabbit hole. That kind of started it off. And then I'm studying now. I'm doing my master's now at Leeds Conservatoire. So in this master's, it's kind of like, it's opened me up to a lot of things that I didn't even know existed. We were also doing about Delia Derbyshire, who worked at the BBC, and she was responsible for the sounds and the soundtrack of Doctor Who, and she made a lot of very forward-thinking music on quite limited machines back in the day. Doctor Who? Ew? She made a techno tune. I can believe it. I can believe it. So I went and researched heavily into her recently as well. Yeah. So, and then last week we were learning about a genre called hyperpop, which is championed by people such as A.G. Cook, who worked on the Brat album with Charlie XCX. And it's kind of like, because I'm doing this masters, I am now listening to this kind of music in a very different way. because previously I would have heard a hyper pop tune and I might have gone, well, that's bollocks. You know what I mean? Without really understanding. No, it's just because you're older and this is what the kids are doing, and a lot of the influences from hyperpop are like hardcore, happy hardcore, sped up vocals, but then done in a hyper realistic way. So there's a lot of in the artwork as well, like there's a lot of hyper realistic images, and it's very bright sounding, very ADHD, I guess you could call it. And it's so interesting to me to see this timeline now of how ideas evolve and change through genres. So yeah, that's what I've been doing today. Oh, don't. Transfinal Sessions is giving me more rabbit holes now. Edgar Verasi 2. No, what's that? Who is it? 21 Merrick. No, I've not studied him. Not yet anyway. We might do. We've only just started the course, so I will let you know if I do, it gets brought up. Yeah, probably. Well, this is it. So going back to what I was saying about, someone was saying, is it worth doing a course in music production? I've changed my mind from like not really to absolutely. But I think what we should do is have a really good understanding of making music to begin with. I think if you came into doing a master's with a good understanding of experience of making music, I think you'd get a lot out of it because you wouldn't be so worried about the actual technical aspect of it. So yeah, I'm just really, really enjoying all of these different things that we're doing, all the different techniques, and it's stuff that I knew about before, but I didn't really do much of. In terms of like expression, granular synthesis, warping stuff, jamming sessions. So yeah, it's just been it's been a breath of fresh air, and I've really enjoyed it, and I like how it's pushing me to try different things, and that's what I want from you lot. Hello, Katie. So yeah, then I went to the gym. I've washed my hair, which takes ages. I'm so tired, and I've just had a protein shake. I've got a can of Monster. Yeah! And then I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna go straight to bed. But I had to share this with you guys because honestly, I knew you'd get it. So, first of all, we've got Boski, and this is called Through the K-Hole. There we go. That is Through the K-Hole by Boski. Was there a... Huh? There was, wasn't there? Do you remember it? Through the peephole. Through the cake hole. Through the door hole. Through the asshole. Oh no, that was a different programme. Oh, that way there. Through the keyhole. Thank you. I don't know what I was watching. With the Ron Seal dude. Through the slut hole. Oh dear. Yeah, Through the Keyhole. I don't watch TV anymore, but I remember that. I haven't watched telly for I'm very proud of this, so I do go on about it all the time. 14 years now. Who lives in a house like this? Yeah. Through the glory hole. Oh, we'll never grow up, will we? We'll never grow up. It's impossible. Oh, by the way, don't grow up because it is a trap. I can't do it. Can you? Can you do? I can do it for a bit, right? So I can be. Yes. How are you? Nice weather we're having here. Unless it's not nice weather, and then go, oh, bloody pissing it down again, and then do this, go, and then roll your eyes, but just got to be in that order. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, bloody weather. Something like that. I can't remember it right now off the top of my head. I've got it written down for those occasions where you're in a waiting room. When you have to be around people. And you have to... Don't small talk, please don't. Because you know what happens, don't you? You know when you get one that can't stop. And I know this is ironic. This is me calling the proverbial pot kettle black. But when it's someone that you don't know, and then they start and then they can't stop because they don't like the silence. I like the silence, believe it or not. I like talking to you lot because I am your friend and you're my friend. So that's different. But when it's someone different, when it's someone strange, not known, don't you be doing that small talk, yo. Nuh-uh. But then I don't do that. I should actually do that. Just go, nuh-uh. Shh. Just go to them and go, shh. Touch their lips. Shh. And then hopefully they'll be like, oh, really? Like, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I thought you were normal. Like, no, I'm not. I just hide it really, really well. And then they start talking. But then it's okay because then you're talking about Genshin Impact or Dance EJ or whatever. So, yeah. It is very difficult. It is very, very difficult. Hello, Filthy Kitten. How are you doing? We were just talking about, I don't like to be judgmental. I don't like, I don't mind what you do, right? You do what you want in your own house. Fine. But when we're out and about, talking to me about normal things, I'm not bothered. I don't care. But yeah, you can deal with it for a bit. I don't even know why we got onto this subject now, but it's an interesting one, isn't it? Yeah, just say yes. Thank you. That's all I wanted to say. Boski through the K-hole. Thank you, Richie. Top of the class. Give me my positive feedback loop now. Thank you. Boski through the K-hole. I really did enjoy this tune. I think it's one of your strongest ones. Getting back to the technical aspects of it, kicking the bass, it was really nice. I was sat in the wrong bit of my room for a part of that. As soon as I got into my triangle, I could hear it. It's nice and heavy. Lots going on. Really nice arrangement. Really great choice of stylistic choice of the sounds that you got in there. Everything evolving like it should. It didn't sound stagnant at any part. And yeah, I like the name of it as well. I am assuming that this is coming out on Faculty One. And if you guys can make sure that you go and follow Boski, please, on Faculty One. Came for the trance, left disturbed. I know. Do you know what I think this is about, right? I think this is probably why I became a mental health first aider, so that I can kind of like in the box give you a kind of like debrief. You know, like if you watched EastEnders and like there was like some really terrible thing that happened and you were one of those people that like just couldn't separate reality from fiction, and you were a bit like upset about it, and then at the end, not at the beginning, at the end they go, if you were disturbed by any of the topics on the comments, then you can call blah 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 blah. So I think I do that like for you guys, you know. So if you are disturbed by anything that I might say or do, good. You're welcome. Make sure you come back tomorrow for more of the same. Next, we've got Josh B and a good friend of mine, RIGGSY. I'm not saying Josh B isn't a nice person or anything, but I don't think I know you personally yet. I know RIGGSY very well, though. And if you're a friend of RIGGSY's, then you're definitely a friend of mine. And this is a song called Agathon Cress. What a great name for a tune. Oh, my God. Right, here we go. Yeah. Demo drop. There we are. What's the date today? 21st. There we go. Here we go. Okay, there we go. That is Josh being RIGGSY, Egg and Cress. So the mystery has been solved as to why it's called Egg and Cress. So Trance Vinyl Sessions said that it's from, there's a sample in there that's from the Egg and Cress remix of, is it Synth and Strings, did you say? Something like that. A prime example of sampling and taking ideas from other existing works and sticking them in our songs. Because why not? And that is exactly how hard house, for example, was actually born as a genre, because it was sample based. And it's something that you absolutely should be doing in order to make something sound authentically from that era as well. Obviously, we've got to have that fine line and that dance between ripping something off and, you know, sampling something in a creative way. I certainly see this as being absolutely on the side of sampling something in a creative way and making something completely different. Hello, Boski. Yeah, we've played yours. Sorry. We liked it, though. We thought it was really good. With a touch of urban hype, I feel the heat too. Awesome. So awesome that you guys can hear other tracks that have been sampled within that track. I was writing down a couple of things that stuck out to me. So I like to give, when I give any kind of feedback, unless I really feel like I want to, it will always be, unless I want to give subjective, an opinion-based feedback, I'll let you know that it's that. But what I like to do is really give more like technical or objective feedback from what I think from a technical point of view. So something that stuck out to me was when that piano bit comes in. This bit. Okay, so when this piano comes in, we've had no priming. The listener has had no priming previous to this point that there is going to be a piano part in this track. It just happens in this breakdown. And we're straight in there. And we're straight in there on a with a high pass filter that's filtered down a little bit. And then it starts opening out. I think that felt a little bit too abrupt. I think that if you're going to have a sound being introduced like that, well, you need to introduce a sound previously. So that could be in like in the fill maybe, or maybe a reversed bit, or maybe even as simple as having a reverse reverb into that breakdown of it. So yeah, so that it doesn't sound so stuck on. So that's how we like to listen to music, is we prepare for things that are going to happen, and we know that things are going to happen and things are going to be introduced to the track and things are going to be taken away in groups of 8, 16, 24, 32. So it's important to remember that when we are going to be introducing a new thing, whatever it be. Surprise. But it just felt to me like that could definitely be just integrated a little bit, with a little bit more time spent on it. The other thing was it's 7 minutes long. And in part, it felt like it a bit. Now, I have a feeling that this was made with a hard house mentality. Mentality. Yes, mentality. Because of, obviously, I know RIGGSY. I don't know about Josh. I don't know if he makes hard house, if he's into hard house. This is what I call... But hello, Josh. Hello. So This to me is what I would call Birmingham bounce. Birmingham bounce is a bit like normal bounce, but it's made in kind of like the structure of a hard house tune, and that usually means it's around 7 minutes long. So that to me, regional bounce, yes. That could be, yeah, Doncaster Donk. So, oh, you're on the toilet at work. Oh, yeah, if you're from Coventry, well, this makes sense. So it's, again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's really interesting to me that people make music based upon many things, and even like where they are situated, geographically. So yeah, it's if it was me, I would definitely whittle this down from 7 minutes to maybe 5.5, because there was some absolute moments. This for me was the this bit. Got a bit of shuffle going on there. Yeah, there's some great moments in this. And it could get to those moments a little bit quicker, a little bit snappier. Like this, your piano here, we could have these in the breaks or a question and answering. There's there's a lot of room there. You got the that gap there. Stick your pianos in there and stick it there as well. See what I mean? You wouldn't even need to have them that often. You would just need to have a little tickle of the ivories at those points in there, and it will just prime us ready for, okay, all right, I see where this is going. I get my piano fingers ready. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I think anyway. I really like it though. It's really cool. Yeah. Tickle the old ivories. Josh, keep up the sterling work. And say hello to RIGGSY for me, please, because I love RIGGSY. He's awesome. He is so talented. Oh my God. Talk about unsung heroes in the scene, right? RIGGSY, like me and RIGGSY go way back, way back. He is just multi-talented in a way that, like, it's just, like, he's so talented that he's not bothered about sharing everything he does on social media because he's so busy just doing really cool stuff in his studio. I love that. He really is. He's so fucking cool. He's so cool. He's what you would like. He's the epitome of someone who really just loves music and on a very deep, integral level. So enthusiastic. If you ever want to know anything about anything, just go and speak to him. Like, he's so cool. Yeah, he is really humble. Exactly. All the good ones are. They're always humble because they can be. It's where their confidence is. It's where their foundations are. You can't argue with talent on that level. So yeah. And Josh, you are in really good company there. I think that's a great person for you to be around in the studio with, asking questions, picking up like little ways that he does things. And just talking to someone like that about music is always a good thing. So yeah, thank you. Next up, we're going to do Control 4 because I know that you're here. Actually, everyone else who is in tonight is in the chat. So hello to Agathon Scrolls as well, and Retro Riff. Yay! Yay! Do you know I haven't had any time to play Genshin Impact for over a week now. I've been getting my husband to do my dailies so that I get a C1 for one of my characters. Doesn't matter. It does. I'm not even going to talk about it anymore because I know most of you don't care. It's fine. No, it's fine. Whatever. Control 4, and this is a track called Senna. There we go. Control 4 and Senna. 9 minutes long. 9 minutes long. It didn't feel like it, did it? It's like it was a piece of classical music with like interludes. Yeah, it was exactly. That's a great way of saying it. It's a journey. It definitely was. Like I said, I don't know how to close a sidetrack. What do you mean close, Status Ho? Say it in another way. Yeah, it's 9 minutes long. And I played it right up to near the end. But I wanted to play, because a lot of the time I can usually fast forward the first bit, because it's usually just a kick and percussion intro. But obviously yours being Psytrance has got the little intro. And I think it sets the mood as well to make sure that we listen to a Psytrance intro. Because it kind of like sets you up for what you're about to, for that journey. But yeah, if I was writing when it would end up a 15-minute, 20-minute track, that's normal. That's okay. It's a very natural part of the process is to have more than you need in terms of a track, because that's just how you kind of that's how you would fine tune it, especially in terms of arrangement. You would find from, if you're not already, if you're having that kind of an issue, I'd really recommend having a reference track at the top of your project that you have tempo matched to the tempo of your tune, and so that you can put little markers, or just have it as a little guide to see when a track that you like, or a track that it's in the style of, when the bass comes in, where the breakdown happens, where there's a smaller breakdown, where the bass drops out again, and where it ends. And then by doing that, you can kind of like match it up with all of the sections of your track as well. But yeah, that's a normal, not stumbling block. It's a normal learning process to have more track than you need. And you'll get used to deleting sections. I used to hate doing that, because I would delete sections and then not see all of it. The more organized you get, the easier it is to take big sections, whack them to one side or another, or create another playlist window, arrangement window, whatever it is that you're using. In FL Studio now, you have multiple playlist screens, as in an arrangement screen. So you can have, like, I have one which is for my, like, a scratch pad, so it's for my little ideas. But usually back in the day I would have put that right to the left hand side and had all my ideas there. But then I wouldn't be able to see how long the track actually was. So now I have them in for different. So I like looking at tabs on Google, choosing a new tab and starting again. But that's a workflow thing, and the better you get at your workflow, the more organized you get from the top down, the better, the easier it will be for you to envisage, like, okay, this needs to go here, that goes there, and just literally even as simple as like highlighting, grabbing all of them in that section and moving them along. But I remember struggling with that. It was but yeah, it's you'll find a way of doing it. I watch a lot of how painters paint actually translates to music. Yep. Agreed. I love talking about the philosophy of making music. It's like that, Rick Rubin says it, a piece of art is never done. It just finishes in interesting places. And I love that. It's a really good way of looking at it. When is it too done? Or when have we overcooked it? When have we overcooked an idea? when is it not good enough? You know, when you see, I don't know if any of you watch on Instagram or Facebook, like any of these artists where there's a girl, I can't remember her name now. I think she's got like one finger missing or like a hand missing or something. But she's really, really cool. She did 3 of the same painting. So she did one in 1 hour. She did a second where she did it in 12 hours. And then one where she spent like 24 hours on it. And it was the same picture. It was the same painting. And it was like of a tree and then like of a knight. And he was like stabbing his sword into the ground. And you can really see that's a really good visual. It was a really good visual representation of, you know, what it is like to spend a little bit of time on something as opposed to the 12-hour one and then like the 24-hour one. And because she was such a great artist, the 24-hour one was the best one. She didn't overcook it. But there is that aspect of if we spend too long on something, ask anyone that wears makeup, right? Don't be late if you're picking someone up and they are like, if you're heterosexual, you're a bloke and you're picking up a lovely lady friend to go out, she's putting her makeup on. If you're late by 20 minutes, she'll have fucked her makeup up because she'll go back and she'll start. I do it all the time. And like, it was fine. And then like, if you are taking too long, we'll just go back and we'll put on more makeup. And then we're like, oh, for fuck's sake, now I've ruined it. It's that, but in musical form. Different though for the sidetrack and other, I'm afraid to say genres, LOL, sorry, Emma. Different though for the sidetrack. Oh, hang on, have I missed a bit of what you've said? I was surprised with all the short tracks now when I went on to Beatport to purchase new music after so many years out the game. So I've started doing similar runtime on my own tracks now. A lot of artists is just looping intros and outros now. Yeah, facts. They are. Yeah, it's I've noticed that as well. I've definitely noticed that. And the original, you have the original mix and then you have the extended mix. And extended mixes are still like 4 minutes sometimes. Like, what? Give me my money back. If I'm not getting an 8-minute track, I want to pay half price for this song, please. But yeah, it doesn't work like that. But yeah, I agree. But that's progress, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, what do you mean by looping intro, outro? So basically, what happens now is because we have looping functions on CDJs, there is only, because the way that people make music is changed now. So people who make music will probably start making the track from the breakdown, what we would have called the breakdown, because that's the first bit that you would hear on Spotify, for example. And then it will build up into the drop, blah, blah, blah. But you've got to keep it moving. It's got to keep moving, got to keep changing. It can't be for a club environment because the way that people are digesting their music is different now, right? So club music, dance music used to be nightclubs. You'd hear it in a nightclub. That would be it. You wouldn't really hear it in other settings. It would have been in a nightclub. Or if you heard it in the car, it would have been because it was from a CD of a mix that was made for a nightclub. So the way that we digest or listen to our music now has changed. And along with that will be the length, duration of tunes, because I agree with this as well. Because if I'm in the car and I'm listening to Spotify, I will. I don't want to listen to a minute and a half of kicks and percussion because I'm likely to skip to the next tune. So what producers are doing now is they're making what we would have called radio-friendly version for Spotify, for TikTok, for shorts, for reels, to get to the good part straight away. And then the afterthought now is the DJ. We're the afterthought now. We're not the ones. It used to be years ago, producers would make music for DJs. We'd get like the test pressing and we'll go and try it out in the nightclub. That's not the way that it is anymore. If you're lucky, you'll get a DJ friendly version called the extended mix, and it will have a maybe 8-bar loop at the beginning and maybe an 8-bar loop at the end, and you just loop it. A lot of DJs now will like DJ like that. They'll just have the loop going until they're ready to exit the loop and then start their transition. Yeah, it's just the way things are. It's great because it's another way of doing stuff, you know? Yeah. Status Ho says, your intro, outro looping was a run-in, run-out of a track. Fine for DJing when we had those massive round 12-inch things. Yeah, the boomer discs. Yeah, it's just interesting. And again, we've got to stay open to these things. And I'm talking, you know, to myself when I say this as well. I used to be quite limited in my view of things. I was getting a bit like, yeah, and I was like, shut the fuck up. Because it didn't feel nice. It didn't feel right at all. Like, things change. And that's a good thing, isn't it? It's a good thing. But I still like, you know, playing my Scott Project 12-minute long fucking tunes or whatever. And listening to Control 4's 9-minute psytrance track here. Because I truly believe there is always going to be a place for this. Now, this track for me is festival music, club music, definitely. And even for me, this will be me pissing about in the kitchen, not pissing in the kitchen, pissing about in the kitchen. And then guy comes in, what are you doing? Making a mess so you can tidy it up. Ah, bye. And then take my music with me. Bye. Oh, brilliant. Again, yeah. Pissing in the kitchen, no. Oh, God. But yeah, that's where this style of music is made for. So there will always be room for everyone's art. It's just now that you just need to make a decision as an artist. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you really want? Can you bend your artistic vision to make a condensed version of your music for Spotify, for the algorithm? If you can, then definitely do it. But it's a personal question, and it depends on so many things. It depends on where you are as a producer, what your goals are, what your values are. And there's nothing wrong at all in changing up the way that you make your music. If you've made music a certain way for years and years, then, you know, instead of being frustrated at the world changing, try it. Try making some different arrangement styles of music. Try collabing with someone who's, you know, younger people. Try collabing with someone that's older. I am a massive believer in every single one of you has something of use, something that you know that someone else doesn't know, that they would like really gain a lot of insight from. So yeah, and Control 4 is one of those people. You should definitely follow Control 4 as well, because he does streams on here as well. Maybe that's why many musicians have several projects, some for Spotify and others for themselves and for the soul. I love that. Yes. That's a really good reminder. I love how you said that. Yeah, not everything that you do needs to be your favorite thing. So any good engineer, any good sound engineer will take their own subjective opinions on music, and be able to produce something. In fact, that'd be a good exercise, little project to try and see if you can make music in a genre where you'd be like, see if you can do it. Because that's where you could end up making most of your income from. It's only a very, very, very lucky few. And that number is always getting smaller and smaller, who can make the music that they love and support themselves financially. I think Ireland have just started some kind of project where it's the first of their kind, where they are paying artists a basic income, where they can have, like, I think about £250 a week to sustain them while they're making music, which I think is a really, really, really great step forward. I really do, because everyone is creative. And I know a lot of people who are extremely good at what they do, and I really wish that they could do it every single day. Really do. I think it's a shame that the arts are not as revered as they should be, and respected and encouraged, especially I'm going to get on my soapbox about this, but in schools, in education. I don't like how creativity is phased out of a child by probably about age 7, when they start doing SATs and shit, and like it's never really. It's not. I don't think it's good. Really important to be creative. Enjoy, Shaka. Enjoy. Yeah, I feel like there's a big correlation with this, and the fact that a lot of people are suffering from mental health issues. There are so many kids in my daughter's year. My twin daughters are 15, and it's too sad to go into, but there's been a lot of loss this year for them, and it makes me so sad, because I think a lot of this could be remedied by music being like this common ground, this commonality that everyone can agree on. You know, that's what our dance floors were for. That's what house music was made for. You know, it was the queer folk could go to this place and just be themselves. And, you know, it was all built on, you know, Stonewall Revolution, and that sense of equality. We are one. Plur. What happened to Plur, huh? What happened to Plur? It's crazy how far things have fallen in many ways, but I don't like to focus on that. I like to focus on what we can do, you know, to keep us together, and, you know, encourage all of us to be creative. We don't have many excuses anymore, because most people can get an internet connection. Most people have access to a computer, and, you know, you can start making music. But yeah, like I said, I think that we're not encouraged enough as youngsters to pursue those avenues in favour for getting a real job. The amount of times I've been told that, like, I wonder if I wonder if I've got that defiant reversal Uno card. What's it called? Like, you know, when someone tells you to do something, you're like, fuck off. That thing. Do you do that too? What did we used to call it? We called it, oppositional, like stubborn. Stubborn. But they've got a special name for it now, haven't they? Like everything. But yeah, oppositional defiant syndrome or something. I've definitely got a lot of that. I'm suffering from the case of I have no more fucks to give. Yeah, that thing. Hello, DJ Moans. But yeah, that's why I think this is important for us to have this space here, and I love the fact that you guys are sending in your music. And Control 4, like, you know how I feel about your music. I think you're amazing. Everything in that was so clean. It took us on a journey. It was like having a conversation, in many ways. And I like the vocals in there as well. I like the arrangement. I thought the arrangement was really great. Yeah, really, really nice. Yeah, and thank you for sparking off that conversation as well. I appreciate you. Next up is Agathon Scrolls, and this is back to. That's all right. I really liked it. That is just pure expression of energy to me. And I'm not just talking about the fact that it's drum and bass, which is inherently an energetical genre. Just everything about that, like the urgency of that arpeggiated acid line that you got there, and the squelchiness of it, the automation of it. The drums really nice. I loved your kind of like FM. I love the use of reverb to set back those kind of mallet plucks in the back there, the chords. Yeah, those to me really brought it together in a sense that, like, you've got the juxtaposition of the dark and then the light, which creates that balance and gives it the melody that it needs to keep it interesting and allows it to be, yeah, that contrast. Yes. Yeah. Hooks you in. I think any good tune will have that balance to it in some way or another. It doesn't have to be that. It's like duality, isn't it? I really, really liked it. And this, the way that it's becoming more and more urgent and you introduce that offbeat stab. Bringing it that high pass. That cut off. Straight in there as well, no fake drop or anything. Like, this is what I'm talking about, man. This is it. Expression, not just it's. You've got that portamento going on. Oh! So good. So good. Everyone clap. Clap, clap, clap. Agathon Scrolls, did you send me your thing? Hang on, I'm just looking at my emails. I only have Bandcamp and my music on Spotify. That's fine. I need your... Can you just email me now quickly the link to your Spotify? Unless I can find it. Did you make a song called... Oh. Yeah, we should have a Teams meeting so that we know everyone is compliant to clap. Thank you. That's a really good idea. Also, I want you to self-report when you don't conform. Yeah, we'll start doing Discord again. That's a really good idea. I want to get Agathon Scrolls Spotify. Bandcamp. Did you make a song called Stupid Cunt? Oh, I hope that's you. I have found an Agathon Scrolls on Bandcamp. Did you make a song called Stupid Cunt? This you? That's such a good name for a tune. It's not harsh. Shut up. That is flirting in some people's language. Link me to your Spotify. So yeah, hopefully there is a completely different. I don't think anyone here will. Oh, shut up! Of course they will. Of course, we listen to everything here. We listen to everything. We'll always listen to your music. So we like a bit of culture. So when you're ready, just email me your Spotify or your Bandcamp, whatever it is. Yeah, don't ever be shy about it. It's you're around other artists here. You know, you're allowed. You are you're around people who get it and could ultimately be inspired by what you do. Trance allowed one day. No trance allowed ever. I'm sorry. I have a hard and fast rule on that. I don't like it. I think it's disgusting. I think it should be banned, quite frankly. Anyone who listens to it needs their hard drive checking, quite honestly. No. Oh, that face. Oh, it's such a Karen face, that. Look. That is, I'm calling the police. I need to start doing that. Oh my God. Should I do it? Yeah. Who could I do that to? Have to be a stranger, won't it? Definitely. Hello. It's me again. They hung up. Really. You know what? I really wish I had Bernard to watch sometimes. Because, like, you know, a Control and Z on life. Do something really stupid like that, but then not have to suffer the social norm consequences of it. Because you could just go back in time to 30 seconds before you did it and then no one would know. But you'd remember. You'd know you did it. You little weirdo. What you like, eh? You need help. Retro Riff is next. And this is an awesome tune. This is called We Lived for the Drop. I think this has been played by Hannah Lang as well. So, yeah, you guys are going to love this one. And I think it's awesome that you've got support from Hannah. She's such a great person. Just her as a person, what she does with Doof Doof, with the record label. Another friend of mine, Lance, he's had a track signed to her label as well. I think it's awesome what she's doing to help up and coming artists to get heard and get them on a level where they're getting the music out there, getting gigs and stuff. So yeah, this is We Lived for the Drop.
the bass.
Go. That is Retro Riff. We lived for the drop. I really like this. I can see why Hannah liked it as well. Very, very stylistic of the 90s with a really bang up to date production style. Really nice and in your face, but also with a nod to dynamics in there as well. I like the use of. You've got that main dun 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 with that nice detuned lead, and then you've got like another version of it set back a little bit as well with the reverb as well, which kind of gives it depth. It's not just all like bang bang bang, very flat sounding. There's a lot of textures in this and work that's gone into it. I like the fact that you didn't use loads of effects on this either. Like it's better off, not to have like shitloads of loops over the top of each other, for example. This kind of stuff is very nice, simple percussion, keeping it moving. You've got a great clap in there. Everyone clap for the clap. Yeah, I really liked it. And welcome back. I know you said that you used to produce and then you've come back again, which is great. And I think, again, those of us of a certain age, we have with us a lot of experience. We've seen a few things. We've rode a few rodeos, kissed a few frogs, made a few mistakes on the way, heard a lot of things, got the t-shirt, wore it. So you see things coming back, and we probably got like a lot of the vinyl to prove it. My point being as a producer is it can be a really good way to like just sample stuff, or even just know like the sounds that were used back then, and start using them again. I don't know if you probably know about the DSP 56300, is it? And what was the other one that's come out today by the usual suspect? The JE8086. Ear News. My good friend Sean Tyus was talking about this the other day. You guys need to go and have a look at it. The usual suspects, known for their superb emulations of synths such as the Axis Virus TI. I've got the Snow version of that. You've probably seen that on my live streams. Nordly 2X have taken on the role in JP8000 and JP8080. JE8086 emulates both synths at the chip level. Bringing the two virtual analog legends to your computer for free. The usual suspects, JE8086 DSP level emulation of the role in JP8000 and JP8080. Yeah, like there was one that I was using for a while, which was the Osiris. But it was very CPU heavy. Yeah, Thrill Seekers have been talking about it. Tice has been talking about it. I think that's the one. Yes. Yes, but the one that I've had for a while hasn't been very it's been very CPU intensive. So I think they've sussed it now by the looks of it. But I would definitely recommend that you guys go and have a look at that. I will put the link in the chat now. You'll find loads of stuff about it online. I'm just picking out a random article about it. But yeah, Silent 1 was a nice emulation of Virus. Was it an emulation of Virus? Because Silent is a subtractive synth, isn't it? No, I don't think that's completely correct. I think because the Virus it's got a bit more to it, hasn't it? I'm just reading up on it now because it's got like wavetables. It's got a modulation matrix which Silent didn't have. They changed it, didn't they? There was Silent 2.3, was it, or something, like the last update that they did, but they added what did they add to it? They added something to it, didn't they? They added, I think, the envelopes. There was something on the right-hand side down the bottom that they added. I can't remember what it was now. But it's still a subtractive synthesizer. But it's a great one. But there's probably aspects of that on the Virus, but the Virus is a lot more in depth than Silent. Silent is a great synth to get started with sound design, with synthesis, because you can't fuck it up too much too badly. You can usually reverse engineer everything back quite quickly. I don't use Silent at all anymore, but I'm so grateful for it being there, and I'll always have an installer for it because of having so much nostalgia around just messing around with it. Like the first time you make the noise from Joy Energizer, by changing the rate. and messing around with the envelopes and the attack, delay, decay, sustain, release. Learning about that, and then like the onboard compressor, and just messing around with different effects within it. And yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I've got a lot of muscle memory on the things that I used to do with it. I might actually have a go with it again. I have loads and loads and loads of sound banks for it, and I'm sure you guys do as well. But yeah, and the other one I used to use a lot was Vanguard. That was pretty cool. I liked how simple Vanguard was. Just the 3 oscillators, and then turn them up, and then piss about with them. And the other one that I really liked, which I don't use anymore, was Harmer, FL Studios VST generator synth. Because that was the first one that I saw that you could add an image to it. I will do Status Ho. I'll do that for you. Mind me. I'll try anyway. I might not do it. I might just be saying I will. Please you. Yeah, Harmer's awesome. So good. So good. I really like the different compression on Harmer. I think there was one called Rubber Cap that I used to really like. It's got a really nice sound to it. And yeah, again, like it's what kind of a synth is Harmer? What kind of synth? Because it's a bit of a few things. What kind of synth is Harmer? An additive subtractive synthesizer. A key feature is its ability to perform image and audio resynthesis, which allows it to analyze and recreate sounds or use images to generate audio, which is great because you could just take a picture of your penis or your vag or your bum or your cat or your nan, and then feed it to Harmer and then press C5, and that's the sound of that thing, part of your body or your nan. There you go. And that is how you know if you're a goodie or a baddie. Because if it sounds like a bad noise, then that's it. Blocked. In fact, this should be a new rule. All of you need to send in a photo of yourselves. And I'm going to do it! Yes! I'm not going to do it now because I need to go to sleep. I'm going to get pictures of your faces and we're going to feed it to Harmer and we're going to see what you sound like. And if we like it, you can stay. If we don't like it, there we go. Please, someone remind me to do this. Please, 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 please. On my Patreon, please join up. You don't have to be a paid member, but obviously it helps support me if you are. But on my Patreon, I'll be doing live streaming from there for everyone, for free members as well, when I'm in the studio. So just because it's less pressure for me because there'll be less of you when I'm in the studio. So I'm going to be doing some live streaming when I'm in the studio from Patreon. I've just put the link in the chat. So just join up as a free member, or of course, if you want to watch back any of my DJ streams, it's just £5 a month. Or if you want to watch my podcast with Guy and with my guests who come round, then it's £10 a month, I think. I'm doing another podcast with Guy tomorrow. But yeah, we'll do stupid things like that. And also at the top of the chat, you've got my raffle. There's still some time for you to win a 3-hour DJ or music production online lesson with me. But it runs out on the when does it finish? You've got like a week left. A week left to get your tickets. Tickets are £1 each. You can buy multiple tickets. That is the link. So if you want to win a 3-hour lesson with me, then there you go. Yeah, Glasby is going to be in the studio in a couple of weeks' time as well. I need to make a flyer for it. I'll make a flyer. Yeah, so Paul Glasby is going to be doing a back-to-back. And that's on the 7th of November. What's happening now is it's Tuesday. So I won't see you. I won't see you until next week now, because I'm going to go and visit my dad. Make sure my dad's okay. I'm going to spend some time with him. And one of his childhood friends. Oh, shush. Is my dad watching? He won't be watching, will he? I'm not going to say. I'm going to type it in the chat because I know that he's really blind. Don't tell him. So yeah. Also going to go and pick a few mushrooms in Wales. So yeah, it will be fun. Well done, everybody. And again, Retro Riff, thank you so much for sending that last tune in. Remember,